VLSos here. This is a video lesson on inequalities. I'm going to write an example of an inequality. 3 is less than 7. This is a very simple inequality. We have a comparison between two sides, just like an equation, but the comparison symbol in between is not an equal sign. So this doesn't make an equation. We're using an inequality sign. It makes this comparison an inequality. This sign is specifically less than. So when we read this, we read 3 is less than 7. And that is indeed true. So this inequality is true. Let's define what an inequality is. An inequality is a comparison of two expressions just like an equation, but in an inequality we're using any of the concepts or the symbols for them and here are the symbols that we can compare to make an inequality. This is less than, equal to, greater than, equal to, and one that's uncommon, not equal to. These are inequalities, so we can kind of think of there being such a thing as an equality, where we use the comparison symbol equal to. Of course, we don't call it an equality, we call it an equation when we use this comparison symbol. Some more examples of inequalities. We could use a variable, in this case h, use the comparison symbol greater than or equal to, and a number 5.7. h is greater than or equal to 5.7. which means that h could be any value. It could be 5.7 to be equal to 5.7, but it could be any value greater than that. Another example. We could have an expression like 3x, a number and a variable on one side, less than or equal to 54. Here we have an inequality that contains a variable and some mathematics. A couple more examples of inequalities. Y is greater than 2x plus 1. This is a more sophisticated inequality because it contains two variables. And so the graphs of such an inequality are going to be more sophisticated. And one more example of a two-variable inequality. D is less than or equal to 60t plus 20. Two variables, D and T, because variables don't need to be X and Y. X and Y are just typical. These two last examples are two-variable inequalities. These two examples are one-variable inequalities. And this one is a simple numeric inequality. We're going to work with these and graph them in future lessons.